Ni kubaya. Ni kubaya. Ni kubaya.
Did you know that in just 1 year, President William Ruto cut down over 50,000 trees to print papers? That's 500 acres of trees gone in just 1 year. Yet the same president looks at Japan and wonders, why not Kenya? Why not us? Take a listen.
Every time I travel to Japan, I always am struck by what vision, discipline, and high ambition can achieve. And I ask, why not Kenya? Why not us?
Let me answer that for you, Mr. President. In Japan, the president doesn't build a church in his residence. Here, you know the story. In Japan, MPs debate on policies. Here, they are bought to impeach enemies. In Japan, citizens are not abducted by their own government. Here, Kenyans disappear without a trace. And yet, every time you travel, you keep asking, why not Kenya? Why not us? I'll tell you, Mr. President, because instead of vision, you give false hope. Instead of high ambition, you hide behind excuses. Instead of discipline, you entertain corruption and incompetence. Mr. President, you want to know why Kenya is stuck? The answer is simple. You are the reason. And until you change and repent, Kenya will remain a question mark under your leadership. So, do you as a Kenyan agree with President Ruto that you lack vision, you lack ambition, and discipline? Let's talk in the comment section.
The financial reports of President Ruto's in second year in office show wastage in how funds are being spent. From an average of 2.2 million shillings per day spent for printing services to 1 billion Kenya shillings for advisory services, it doesn't look good for the president.
Well,
but let's make a comparison between his spending and that of his predecessor, former President Uhuru Kenyatta, in both their second years in office. That comparison spans for a time frame of a decade. Let's look at the data. Our primary source for this comparison, the meticulous reports from the Office of the Control of Budget, and this independent office is tasked with overseeing government spending, and their findings often paint a good picture where the taxpayer money actually goes. Let's start with President Uhuru Kenyatta's second year in office, the 2014-2015 financial year. The Office of the Control of Budget reports from this period under then Controller Agnes Odhiambo highlighted some consistent trends. One major concern was the high proportion of recurrent expenditure, think salaries, daily operations, and travel, dwarfing development spending. 77% of actual spending in the 2014-2015 financial year, and in contrast, the development budget only made up 23% of the actual expenditure. The OCOB, the Office of the Control of Budget, also flagged Kenya's escalating public debt, a significant burden on the national budget, even back then. According to the Central Bank of Kenya's 2015 annual report, Kenya's public and publicly guaranteed debt increased by 19.4% to 2.8 trillion Kenya shillings of the end of June 2015, up from 2.4 trillion shillings a year earlier. Let's now look at travel and approved spending. And yes, spending on both foreign and domestic travel by government officials alongside instances of unapproved expenditures were common themes. The presidency itself spent 256 million on domestic travel and 138.5 million on foreign travel. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade was the highest spender on foreign travel at 60 million, while MPs were the second highest spenders at 569.9 million Kenya shillings. Now, let's fast forward to 2024-2025 financial year. While Ruto's administration has publicly advocated for austerity, the OCOB's latest reports offer some interesting contrast, particularly within the Executive Office of the President. Let's start with advisory services. Significant 1 billion shillings spent on advisory services, with the number of presidential advisors reported growing to 20 people. This indicated a different staffing operation approach. Surprisingly, another high-cost area highlighted was printing services, a seemingly mundane item, but one that caught the Office of the Controller Budget's eye. An average of 2.2 million shillings per day spent for printing services. State House refurbishment was next, and substantial funds were also allocated to the refurbishment of State House Nairobi, a notable capital expenditure within the presidency budget. The reports that State House Nairobi spent 160.4 million on major refurbishment and maintenance. So, what are the key takeaways from this comparison? We start from specific recurrent focus. While both face challenges with recurrent spending, Ruto's second year has seen a particular spotlight on the scale of advisory services and even printing costs. Next is staffing philosophy. The expansion of the advisory team under Ruto suggests a different philosophy in how the presidency structures its immediate support with clear financial implications. Let's now look at capital versus operational. The State House refurbishment under Ruto also highlights a significant capital outlay directly tied to the office of the president. Actually, Uhuru, on the other side, was flagged for spending on capital projects such as the construction of new presidential pavilions and purchase of high-end vehicles, which were often flagged by the controller of budget. The report also, for the first 9 months of this period, revealed that the presidency had the highest expenditure on the purchase of motor vehicles, this Uhuru, spending 523 million. Let's now look at the biggest headache, debt. The national debt has continued to be a headache, with the figures rising every day. When President Kibaki left office in April 2013, Kenya's public debt stood at 1.89 trillion Kenya shillings. When Uhuru Kenyatta left office in September 2022, Kenya's public debt stood at 8.7 trillion shillings. This represents a significant increase from the 1.8 trillion shillings he inherited from the Kibaki administration in 2013. Projects like the SGR and Kenya's transport sector, a huge amount also was lost in corruption. President Kenyatta once claimed that the country was losing 2 billion Kenya shillings a day. 2 billion! Where? Now let's look at Ruto's presidency. As of July 2024, the public debt stood at 10.6 trillion. Despite the pre-election promise to reduce national debt, Ruto found himself borrowing to finance the budget deficit and to service existing debt. The depreciation of the Kenya shilling against the dollar made the matter more complex. It's important to remember that economic conditions and national priorities shift, but these reports offer us a glimpse into the financial footprints left by each presidency. For the most detailed breakdown, always refer to the official reports from the Office of the Controller of Budget. But what do you think about these spending patterns? Let us know in the comments below.
Mimi nimesoma na nimesoma vizuri. I am probably the most learned president has ever elected. Kenya has ever elected. Sindio?
Msome. Si utafanya watoto wetu waone kusoma haina maana jamani. Msomi na country yetu inakaa hivi, si ndio?
God have mercy. Hello William.
Hello?
Nikuulize swali moja Omera. Yesu alisave dunia na how many days?
Yesu alimaliza kusave hii dunia 3 years.
Uko sure ni 3 years?
Yesu alikuwa around for 3 years.
Okay, na hata wewe ni 3 years tangu kuwe president, si ndio? So in this 3 years, ni nini umefanyia Wakenya ya maana?
Hakuna kitu nimefanya.
So you mean kazi yako ni corruption tu?
Someone just stands before the public shouting that I am the most educated and so in this country. Now, even if you would be the most educated leader in the world, leave alone in a single country, without the fear of God in truth and in spirit, it is still in vain. It's useless. Now, patients are losing, thousands of patients are losing their lives in hospitals while money which was meant for them is being looted under your oversight, and you just stand saying that you are the most educated leader. We have parents who lost their children in the entire protest that have been undertaken in this country, and there is no any deliberate effort to find out where these children are, where their parents are still crying, and you just stand to give a public proclamation on how intelligent you are among all leaders. It is still in vain. It doesn't make sense to most Kenyans. Our schools have no capitations. They are funds meant for them are being embezzled day in, day out. And you just stand saying that you are the most intelligent person, you are the most educated person. What sense does it make to most citizens? It doesn't make sense at all.
You won't believe how this town in Italy deals with bad politicians. Every year, Trento, Italy will put a local politician in a cage and dunk them in a river. And the one that gets put in the cage is considered to have committed the worst political blunder of the year. So the one that messed up the most gets dropped in while spectators sit around and watch.
Would such a shift risk undermining democratic institutions, do you think?
My argument is this: you undermine democratic institutions when you start circumventing the provisions of the Constitution. Because what the other side is propagating is that let us conduct elections after the 5th year. Let's conduct the elections in the 6th year without any legal foundation. So today we say we are accepting 6th year. Tomorrow you'll have a dictator worse than William Ruto and says, no, since you didn't conduct in the 5th year, conduct it in the 7th year. Another one will come up and say, no, since we are now doing it outside the Constitution, there is no red line where to stop.
Right.
You are better off adhering to the black and white letter of the law, because that is predictable, as opposed to leaving it to whims. Because when you leave it to whims, today you may say you are putting pressure on 27.
Wow.
Umevuka kwa mwendo wa aste na kuunga mjadala unaosema.
Honestly, you know how it got me?
Yeah.
Because of that.
Of the
that thing
fast
of that thing of where you give people an inch and they take a mile. It is my life's mantra not to give the inch so
that they don't take the mile. So what happens now? Okay, Maria.
Mr. President, let's be honest. You're the only one still bringing up tribalism like it's 1990. We're not fighting over tribes. We're struggling with joblessness, high taxes, police violence, and broken promises. Every time we speak up, you throw in tribal lines hoping we'll look the other way. But guess what? We won't. We're Gen Z. We've got receipts, internet, and zero chill for bad leadership. We don't care what tribe you're from. If you're not serving the people, we'll say it loud. Stop using tribalism to cover failure. It's tired. It's weak. Fix the economy. Protect our freedoms. Respect the people. We've moved on. Maybe it's time you did too.
Safina Party is all about the economy. It is the economy, stupid. And those who will see that it is the economy will join Safina Party. And there are many people who have expressed interest to even contest for positions on Safina Party ticket. At the right time, we are also going to unveil our machine. The engine has been turned on. Safina is coming. You know, a ship comes slowly and gently. You may think you are seeing a small speck somewhere at the back. Before you know it, you see a massive ship. That is Safina. Safina Party, the economy.
So the act is coming.
The act is coming. There are many Kenyans who are joining Safina Party in drafts, and I urge anybody who wishes to join Safina Party. Star 509 hash. Our party code is 034. Safina Party, the vessel for economic emancipation of our people. It's not about legacy politicians, it's about the people and giving power to the hands of the people. That is what Safina Party stands for. And for the first time since independence, let's have an opportunity for our politics to be about the people and giving power to the people, not retaining power in the hands of legacy politicians. And we've always said two key components that we'll work on. On the economy, we are very clear, no odious debt. What that means is free education from primary to tertiary, free healthcare. We are going to reduce VAT, 16% VAT, we are going to do away with it. And we are also going to give people an opportunity to get access to credit. The money that is held by banks, government should not borrow that money. that money should be available to Kenyans to borrow.
Okay.
And what that means is this. Interest rates will fall to even 3%. You borrow 1 million, your repayment is only 30,000 in terms of interest.
Okay.
In a year. You borrowed 1 million, you're paying interest of only 30,000. What can't you do? And OCPDs must be elected by the people. It's time the people take control of their security by electing the above. Orders from above will never come from Nairobi. The above will be the people. That is Safina. Anybody who believes in that, welcome to the ark.
Well, we wish you all the best. You said it's 18th of September.
Yes.
Ruto simpigi kura. Amenajisi nchi. Bila kutumia hata kondom.
This is Selector Dede.
Wanadhani ya bongo lala, ikikupita we bongo lala. Na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoza. Akijikuku mewaka sana, na mabisto na chafua raja. Na walosema jana iwezi fika leo, tuko ground tunasoza. Hakuna mboka, peleke shuleni watasoma. Madaktari wamegoma, hapa sani Yesu atatuponya. Wambie punde imechoka sana, farasi bado ijapatikana. Ni mandai wanagonya na mali wanaponda, unakonda wananona. Mandamano, 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 amise mandamano, mandamano,